Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Share It All podcast. I am your lovely, wonderful, and growing. Why are you laughing? Growing coach, Joy, the growth coach. I'm here with a very great. I don't know why you're laughing.
I'm laughing at the attitude. Go ahead.
Great friend of mine, Mr. Will. Do you want me to say your last name?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Will Nicholson. So tell them about yourself. A little bit.
What you want to know?
Tell them the basics. I don't want to put out all your stuff.
I'm trying to figure out. Like, I got a lot that I can put out. So what do
you want to tell the people?
My name is Will. All right. My name is Will. I don't even know what else to say. Like, follow me on Instagram @_ Will Nicholson, WILLNICHOLSON. Follow me. I'm in grad school, almost done. I got 1 semester left, so your boy is educated.
Are you trying to snatch girls like that?
See, I'm done.
Okay, so I got a few questions for you, then we're gonna get into the topic. So you never told me which questions you wanted to do first.
I don't care. This is your show.
Cool. Ready?
This is your show. So
what is your definition of mindfulness?
Being mindful.
What?
Nah, all right. I'm sorry. That's a loaded question. There's a lot of
layers to it.
Yeah, it depends on the situation.
Well, just like a general definition.
A general definition of mindfulness. Just being aware of like your surroundings and what's going on, your mental health, being aware of the people that you got around you. Mindfulness, being woke to the things around you, to the things that affect your life, affect your movement, your state of mind, stuff like that. Like that's what mindfulness is to me. Like. Okay. But you gotta tell me that's wrong, though, right?
I mean, it is actually.
No, it's not. Mindfulness. All right, we're about to get into this. Mindfulness is one of those terms where it's like it's a loose term. Like everybody has their own definition. There might be a set definition for it, but everybody has their own definition. So if my definition is what I just said, that doesn't mean that it's wrong. That just means it doesn't fit with what you think it is. That doesn't mean it's wrong.
Okay.
All right. It's the same thing. If you ask me what love is, you might have a concrete definition. Might be a Merriam-Webster. You'd be like, "Oh, love is whatever, blah 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 blah," and I might say love is this, and you might say love is that. So I'm supposed to say, "Nah, you wrong because it's not what's in Merriam." Nah, that's what you think it is.
Okay.
It's one of those. That's one of them questions. What does mindfulness mean to you? To me, that's what it means. So it's not wrong if that's my opinion, right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, but I'll tell you the concrete definition, just so you know, for future, if you ever get asked this, it's the practice of purposely bringing one's attention into the present moment without judgment, and a skill that develops through meditation or other training.
I don't even meditate like that, so I wouldn't even have said that. But all right.
Well, meditation is in many different forms.
I mean, I know that. But
you ever just sit in your room for 5 minutes in straight silence?
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that meditation.
But it is a form of meditation. It's not
to you.
That's true.
To a lot of people, yeah, but to you, that's what you do. I wouldn't call that meditation. I would call that sitting still. Meditation, you could say meditation is sitting still, but I don't like to call everything meditation because to me, meditation means literally sitting still and imagining certain things, crystallizing things in your brain. Like to me, that's what meditation means. But to be just sitting still in a room that's dark, like nah.
Well, nobody said just be in a dark room. Like people
lit.
You can be in your car meditating.
I know that, but I'm not gonna call it that because that's not my form of meditation.
Okay. I
don't even like using that term. I like prayer. I like worship and stuff like that. But meditation to me is a spiritual. That's a spiritual term. I don't really dive into because I'm not really a spiritual person. I'm a more like, I'm a God-fearing man. Don't get me wrong, but spirituality to me is a little different. So I don't want to say like, oh, I meditate because that falls into a spiritual realm that I don't really dive into. So that's what I'm saying. Meditation is not really there for me in my life.
Okay. So since you already told me before we started filming that self-awareness is kind of the same as mindfulness. Is there like a concrete difference for you between them or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I was gonna ask you.
Mindfulness, all right, to me, right? If I say, yo, be mindful of what you're doing. If you're mindful of what you're doing, that's self-awareness. You're aware of what yourself is doing. You might not agree with what I just said, but I'm telling you, somebody gonna be watching this and be like, damn, that makes sense. Like, it's the same thing, yo. Be mindful of the people that you keep around you. Mindfulness that's the root of the word, mindful. Mindfulness, mindful. Be mindful of the people that surround you. If you're mindful of the people that surround you, then you're self-aware because you know what self needs. And if you know the people around you is not good for self, then you're going to separate yourself from them. You should. Most people don't, but
I don't agree with you.
That's why I'm saying.
No. I actually, let me change that. I do agree with you. I do. I didn't mean to say I don't agree. I meant to say I do agree with you.
Because you say it all the time. You used to saying it now. I don't agree with you.
No, I do agree with you. Self-awareness is kind of like a trait that's off of mindfulness that makes you just think about your decisions and like how they actually will affect you long term. So mindfulness is present. Self-awareness to me or anybody that might practice it in a certain aspect. Yes.
Self-awareness not present?
It is present, but it's more so you think about how will that self-awareness affect you in the future tense. Imagine this happening at 2:00 in the morning. Like
that's a domestic violence, right? Domestic violence.
Okay, so yeah. So here's my next question for you. How do you take accountability in your life and how is that important to you?
Accountability. For me, accountability comes in the form of like friendships and stuff like that. Like the world we in now is kind of hard to like for yourself to hold your own self accountable. I mean, you can, but you got to be really in tune with who you are, and that's where self-awareness comes from. But for me, I like to have the right people around me because there's times where I might not be able to hold myself accountable, or I might not be in the mood to do that. I might know, like, all right, like I'm good. I ain't do nothing bad, and then like, or I ain't do nothing wrong, and one of my friends would be like, yo, like, I wouldn't have done it that way. Like, so the self-accountability all comes with like the people that you surround yourself with, family, my parents obviously. So my mom, like I'll talk to my mom and be like, what did you think about this that happened? Like, should I have done it differently? What should I have done? Like, she'll be like, maybe you should have done it this way, like stuff like that. So to me in my life, it's like making sure you got the right team around you, the right support system. And then when it comes to yourself, I don't think it's a day and night situation where it's like you can figure out how to be self-accountable overnight. Like it takes a while. It takes a while and it takes a lot of commitment. You got to commit to wanting to do that for yourself. And if you don't commit to that, then that's why it's best to have a support system around you that holds you up.
Do you feel like accountability is needed for growth?
Needed for growth?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. You got to be accountable. As you can't.
Because there's some people that are growing right now without accountability. So the question is, could you like grow as an individual?
Give me an example. Because you be saying stuff but not giving me examples. So you gotta give me an example. If you give me an example, I'll be like, all right.
There's some people that like are in maybe like in business, right? And they make decisions. And sometimes they're not accountable for their decisions, right? And
they backfire.
Yeah. But it doesn't go towards their growth. Like people will fix the mistakes for them. So nobody's holding them accountable, but they keep just thinking, okay, there's no consequence to my growth, to my decisions because everybody keeps fixing them for me. But I keep going up in my business. Like, can you actually grow as an individual?
If everybody keeps fixing your mistakes, did you ask them to fix your mistakes? Or are they a part of your support system? Are they like, who are they?
I mean, if that's their job to kind of.
I'm saying if you own a business and you got assistants or whoever whoever you want to call them, assistant secretary, whatever, and that's their job, and they do their job, they are keeping you accountable in a sense.
But they're not telling you when you mess up.
But then that comes with being self-aware and being a little bit more humble. Comes with humility. If somebody tells you, yo, you're messing up, and you're like, I ain't messing up, I'm good, you won't have enough humility. It don't matter how much you're growing in life, eventually you're gonna crash.
That's true. That's true.
Because life got a funny way of getting you to a certain point, and then when you think you've reached the mountaintop, it's gonna knock you off. If you don't have the humility that you need and the self-awareness to know, like, all right, let me calm down. Let me take the advice that people give me. You know? Okay,
now here's a funny, puzzling question. Do you think our generation actually practices accountability?
No.
And why do you think that?
Because we don't cherish true friendship, number one.
Mm-hmm.
We don't cherish honesty from true friends. Like, more people get mad at their friends being honest with them than they do like being able to sit down and have a conversation and say, like, let's talk about it. Like, what do you mean? Like, why are you coming from this angle? Why do you feel this way? Those are types of conversations that this generation lacks, because we're just so quick to be like, nah, you're wrong. Now I got a problem with you. And now we're not friends no more. And then you have one person who feels like, you know, whatever I said, I was trying to be a good friend. I was trying to be honest. And now I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop being me. I'm going to start being what other people want me to be, so it makes them feel comfortable. And then you got the other person who wouldn't cherish that friendship's or that friend's honesty. And now they running around thinking that everything is cool. And then they going to end up going to that mountaintop and crashing.
I definitely 100% agree with you. I think out of all the generations, maybe also the generation before us has not practiced any form of accountability. Because kind of look at the trail we're going down. Although we're progressing financially, if you want to put it, the decisions we're making, and especially our generation, they don't realize the effect it's going to have on them. It's going to have on their kids, their grandkids. And, like, I definitely noticed that, like, within the women. And I know I'm probably going to get crucified. It's okay. I'll take it now.
Just her words.
I'll take it. I'll take the crucifixion. I'm always been seeing, like, the reason why I started my business is because I saw that our generation was not mindful of their decisions and how it was truly going to affect them moving forward.
Hold on. Self-awareness. Go ahead.
Okay. So they weren't really, like, they didn't think about, they lived in the moment. And it's not bad to live in the moment, like, enjoy your time, enjoy your fun, but think about, like, whatever you post on social media, it is going to have a negative effect on you. It's going to affect on the type of jobs you might want to get. It's going to affect how people view your kids. And I see that, especially with prime example, Kim Kardashian did a whole, sex tape with Ray J. And think about it, in like 20 years from now. How's she gonna explain that to her kids? She got 4, 5, 6 kids.
I think she explained to them how she got famous already. Because I saw an interview or something.
But her child is 8. Like, do you think they're gonna comprehend that?
They might. We don't know.
Like,
this kids out here, we don't know. Because this kid, that generation, I don't know that generation what it's called scientifically, but that generation is they're progressing at a super fast rate in terms of mindset, how they view things, what they do, how they use social. Like, we don't know. Maybe they can comprehend, because social media is so powerful now. They 8. I'm pretty sure they already done seen something like that already. Because the phones is like it's clicking a button. Twitter is pornography now.
That is true.
So it's like, which is crazy. I don't even go on Twitter no more, because it's like, you go down a few tweets, and then you see this. And it's like,
I didn't even ask for that. I didn't even come over here for that.
No, what I'm saying is, kids have social media. They know how to work social media better than their parents. Like, kids are progressing at a really fast rate. So what's to say that her kids, whatever she told them, what's to say that they haven't comprehended what she was trying to portray? Like, they probably do really understand what she's saying. We don't know that because we don't have a conversation with them. And then also they have a different viewpoint, a different perspective on life. They probably don't care.
But as a parent, wouldn't you think about like how this can affect your kid? Because when they go to school and they get bullied for things like that, or like, really? You sure? Because for prime example, I was watching this podcast which is called the Fresh and Fit podcast, and one of the women on there, I think she was either a porn star or she was a video vixen or something, but her son was like at middle school or high school and he had to go to school and deal with that. Like, you can't prepare your child as much as you want to for those decisions in which you made for him to, he's gonna get crucified for that. Like, and
yes, he is.
And he's gonna be more mad at you.
No, wait. He is. This is what there's levels to this. He is, because she's not Kim Kardashian. She don't even got to send her kids to school. The teachers could come to the house. That's the thing. They don't have to go to school. Teachers can come to the house. Even if they go to school, think about where they're living. Think about the towns in which they live in. Ain't nobody getting. I don't even know if they live in. I don't know where they live, but let's say you got a A-list celebrity that lives in Hollywood.
Okay.
You got schools in that area. Most of the kids that go to schools, the high schools, middle schools, whatever. Most of the kids that go to schools in that area all know each other. A lot of their parents are celebrities, A-list, B-list, whatever you want to call them. They're celebrities. Everybody's parents did some type of dirt. Just because Kim Kardashian's dirt is a little bit more nasty doesn't mean that another parent didn't do some crazy stuff. So what does one kid look like bullying Kim Kardashian's kids, knowing that their father and mother is probably, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
So it's not like she's sending her kids to some random school in New Jersey. She's sending her kids, if they go to school at all, she's sending her kids to a school that's filled with kids that have similar backgrounds, to where parents are trying to figure out, how do I explain what I did to get famous? So they're not gonna be affected like that. And if they are affected like that, all she got to do is pull them out of school.
But it does affect the child's mental health, because it's like, like, am I gonna have to follow down the same?
No. No.
Yes, but it's like
No.
Yes.
No.
It's okay.
No. Because look what they growing up with. They growing up with silver spoons. They don't have to go down the direction. The mom, the dad, whoever did their dirt, or did, I don't want to call it dirt, whatever they did to get famous, they did that and they got famous. They got rich. Kim Kardashian got loot. She married Kanye. They divorced now, but they got kids together. So she got loot from her side and his a little bit, right? However that works, right?
Mm-hmm.
She got loot. The kid don't got to go down that direction to get loot. It's there. So they not thinking, oh, I got to do the same thing
but
my mom did.
Look at how their aunts and uncles have, well, not uncles. Look at how their aunts have made their money. Think about that.
Their aunts made their money, yo. I just said.
Okay, so they're gonna think, but there's some work.
Whoa. I just said, the people watching, I just said they made their money doing what they did. They have their money now. Their kids don't have to go down the same route. If their kids do go down the same route, that is on them. Because you have all the money in the world to do whatever you want to do. For example, you have LeBron James' daughter, right? Mm-hmm. Not to say that LeBron's ever done anything crazy, because from what we've seen, he a good guy. Like, he ain't done nothing crazy. But let's say his daughter could choose between what she's doing now, like I think the makeup or the cooking or whatever she's doing. She has a cooking show with her mom or something. Yeah, whatever she's doing on the social media, she's doing that, right? And she's young, but she ain't sitting there like, oh, I could choose this or I could choose that. Like, she has everything that she needs. She don't have to ask for nothing. Her dad can supply her with the cooking supplies. Supply her with views, because he LeBron James. She gonna get views. It's like, if you have enough money, you can put your child into a situation where they don't have to question what they can do with themselves. Mm-hmm. They don't have to feel like, I have to go down the path of my mom to get famous. The only time a child might be thinking that is if, like your example from the Fresh and Fit situation, where the woman yeah, she's a porn star, whatever she's doing, and she has a child. She's not famous. She's not Kim Kardashian famous.
Yeah, but they make, decent.
But it ain't going. But it's not going to last her though. That's the problem. It's not going to last her unless she transforms herself into a A-list type of celebrity, and she becomes like a Kim Kardashian. It ain't going to last. That's the difference. That money is not. That money's not going to last. And if I watch Fresh and Fit, they say it all the time. It's only there for a certain amount of time. It's not going to last you. But the Kardashian family, that money's going to last. It's going to stay in the family. And it's going to get increasingly, it's going to increase. Look at, what's her name? The one that was with Travis.
Kylie.
Yeah. She rich. You think Stormy is out here like, oh, I gotta do what my aunts did? No.
I mean, she's 3, so
okay, but we're talking about young kids.
You're right. She probably not gonna have to, but I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 of them is like, because in my opinion, if you think about it, did all of them have to kind of almost follow Kim's path to get where they are now?
What? They're talking about aunts?
Yeah,
you're talking about Chloe, Kendall. Kendall was a model. She got her own money.
No, but I'm saying Kendall didn't really fall down the same path as them in certain aspects. She became a model, but
they're related though. That's
right. But like,
so you just your point out the window.
Okay, my point out the window. No,
I'm saying Kendall. Then you have what's her name, Kylie.
But Kylie literally followed after Kim, low key.
She didn't do what Kim did. She wasn't.
Okay, she didn't fall exactly.
She didn't Ray J her way to the top. She didn't do that.
She didn't Ray J, but she did. She did alter a lot of her body and her image in order to get to the top.
Well, how many women not doing that? That's like normal now. It's normalized now. Women do that all the time now. She didn't Kim her way to the top. All she did was alter the way she looked. All I was saying was, Kylie didn't Kim her way to the top. She just did what, at the time, it was a practice that was increasing among women, like altering your body, because that didn't really become a big thing like it is now until like when she started doing it.
It started with Kim though.
She did it, but it wasn't popular. It wasn't like something that was normalized. It was just something that somebody was like, people did, but it wasn't like a normal thing.
But she called her sister's sisters is what I'm trying to say.
You talking about Kylie, right? You started
okay.
She did not Kim her way to the top though.
Okay, she didn't Kim her way to the top by doing a sex tape.
That's what I'm talking about. Because you started talking about the kids.
But I'm talking about she did do some provocative things.
Like what? Change her body?
It wasn't just that.
What she do? Because if you're wrong, she gonna be like, what?
I mean,
you're gonna be on Shade Rumors. You are. I'm telling you right now.
I don't thoroughly follow her because I'm not for one into the whole makeup thing and all that other stuff. So I really.
That's another thing that she did. The makeup thing. She's a businesswoman. She definitely got her business running to a point where it's like, you can't take that away from her. She didn't Kim her way to the top. She Kylie'd her way to the top.
Okay. Now, back to my other example. When it comes to women that are not as high as them.
Right. Okay.
How do you think that's going to affect their kids?
So your example
their
was
kids
the
are gonna
stripper from Fresh and Fit?
And I was telling you that.
I told you that. Go ahead. Finish.
It's going to... saying is that the stripper from Fashion and Fit, guys, if you haven't watched, I don't remember the episode, but I think I could link it.
Every episode, they all the same.
No.
They all the same. They get the same demographic that come on.
You know what I don't understand? Let's pause for a quick second. Why does he intentionally do that? It's more like... Let's not... I just wanted to...
Let's not bash another podcast.
I'm not bashing. It's more so I just kind of want to know, because not all women think like that.
Yeah, but it's
more so that's what I think always makes me question. Like, not all women.
No, you overthinking this for views.
Oh, okay.
It's because at the end of the day, it's like I want to compare the two, but I have to. So it's like when you talk about Kevin Samuels, right? The people that call into his show is like you get
everybody.
You get everybody. You don't know who calling in, right?
Correct.
You want to. It could be a black woman. It could be a white woman. I seen white.
Ecuadorian.
Right. It could be anybody. It could be somebody that's 21, 22. It could be somebody that's 50. You don't know who calling in. It's not like he only picking a certain demographic. They picking a certain demographic views because they already know that the things they gonna say during that interview is gonna be spicy to the point where it's like everybody just want to hear them say something that's nuts. Like it make for good content. Yeah, that's what it is. So I wouldn't even think that deep. Like, why would you keep bringing on the same demographic knowing they gonna say some stupid content? Views like. I watch it just because of that. I be like, well, that's how you thinking? Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but do you think all like modern women are like that though?
No, I don't think all modern women are like that. I think modern women are a little lost, but I don't think modern women are a reflection of what they bring on their show. No, hell no, because I would never date that type of woman anyway. So. I watch it legit for the content. I don't watch it to figure out how they think and how I can make myself attractive to them. I care less because it's not the type of woman I like. So I don't look at them like they represent all of modern women. No.
Okay.
They represent that demographic, the delusional demographic. Yes. Like Kevin says, delusional.
You mean the dudes? The dudes?
No, not the delusional.
No, okay, so his recent episode, he talks about dudes. It's delusional, ungrateful.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying ungrateful.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It's too much. I ain't call them ungrateful. Nah, I ain't saying all that. I'm just saying some of the stuff they be, all right.
Okay, so I have another question for you. So, and it goes into instant gratification. How do you think instant gratification is affecting our generation? And then how do you think it's affecting the relationships in our generation?
That's a two-part question?
Yes, it's two-part. Do you want to just answer the first part and then we'll go to the second part?
So how does it affect our generation?
Yeah.
Are we talking? Okay.
Just you can do a worldwide and then break it down if you want.
It affects our generation because we don't work for anything. We don't put any effort into anything. So, but at the same time, we did it to ourselves. So social media, we've gotten to a point where, and I'm gonna use relationships and just what people put out there for the world to see, right? For likes and dislikes and stuff like that. We've gotten to a point where we put everything of who we are, whether it's our body, our mind, whatever, we put that on social media. Nobody has to guess anymore of like, what is she thinking, or how does she look in this top, or how does he look without a shirt on? Nobody has to guess anymore. Like, it's just there. Especially Twitter. We just talked about that. So nobody has to guess anymore. So that instant gratification is like, because nobody has to guess anymore, and we're not used to that. This generation is not used to mystery. If the mystery is there, it's a problem. Because it's not normalized anymore. Like it's like Plan B now. Like they're so used to Plan A, which is Plan A is it's spoon feeding. I'm a spoon feed you who I am, and if I don't do that, I have too much work. I don't want to do it.
Okay, hold that up. I'm gonna close this window.
Yo, check on my car.
Your car is fine. It's just they're getting on my nerves at this point. Okay. Now that feels better. All right, so I do agree with you. I think our generation has gotten so bad when it comes to instant gratification that not only does it affect us relationships-wise, I think it affects our chemically, because our body's so used to having serotonin levels, right? Yeah, serotonin levels. Like that's actually what our body's craving for. Like happiness is a mood stabilizer.
Okay, yes.
And then Instagram, Twitter, Facebook has increased our dopamine levels. It's almost like
it's a drug.
It's a drug. And so when you don't get that type of
fix.
Yeah, that fix that you're looking for, you're gonna constantly run after that fix every single time with every single last post. So like if you get one post and like say if you're kind of wearing slightly something seductive, or like as a woman, my dad's wearing something slightly seductive, ooh, and I get 400,000 likes.
Right.
I'm gonna be like, oh my god, like everybody likes me like this. Then I go post something where I'm like fully dressed or whatever, and then I only get like 200,000 likes. I'm gonna keep wanting to do that. Like, okay,
or you either gonna keep wanting to do that, or you're gonna lose self-esteem because you're gonna be like, oh, I didn't get that many likes,
or I don't see myself as valuable.
Like, nah, maybe the algorithm didn't have your picture right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about you.
But it is, because the algorithm is going to chase after what is your highest seen content.
Which is why I believe, like, I don't even really post that many pictures anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll post stuff on my story because, you know, people gonna view the story, like, I care less. It don't really bother me, right? But there's been times where I'll be on Instagram, not recently, because I really don't care now, but before in the past where I put up a picture and I'm thinking that like it's fire, and then I get like 5 likes. I'm like, yo, what? Like, what? Like, all right, I ain't wearing this no more. Like, nah, that's just how social media works. Everything's an algorithm. Mm-hmm. It really does that really does affect your mental health.
It does.
And that's why I feel like social media messed up our generation single-handedly.
I definitely do agree, because it played into the instant gratification, and now like people also are making money off social media and things like that, and like that. So they're like, oh, like if I don't get a certain amount of likes, or if not, I'm not getting a certain amount of engagement, it decreases my value financially, or decreases my value within myself as well. And I've been noticing, like, just in general, like, there's so many influencers nowadays. No discredit to the influencers, because I have a few friends that are actually, like, influencers. Let me just say that now. But their value is held to a dollar amount. And I think that's where we have so screwed up as a generation.
Which is why
we don't also know how to work for anything.
I don't have a problem with influencers, but influencers that influence just for money purposes, you're not really an influencer. Like, you're an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Like, influence. When I think about influencers, I think about people like Dr. Eric Thomas, hip hop preacher, hip hop speaker. Like, he motivates because that's what he loves to do. He wants to see people succeed in their life. It just so happens that he gets paid for it, but he's not out here asking for it. And if he is, it's because he worked that now. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people is just chasing a bag, and that's fine. You gotta do what you gotta do to live, right? But if you call yourself an influencer, but you're not really influencing anybody in a positive way, then you really have to rethink that title.
I think it's because a lot of influencers don't have a skill. Like, I was thinking about this last night. A lot of influencers don't have a skill that, like, kind of ties to their work. Like, I see a lot of fashion influencers now, and they all kind of look very, very similar. And I'm like, but if you took away, the money in which you're making, or like the certain content that which you're making, what is your skill? Like, can you sew? Can you put patterns together? Are you a graphic designer? No, you're just a person that's able to put on clothes and make it look good based off your body and your image.
But with fashion, it's a little different though, because that's true. But there's people who are like, I know some models, right? They kind of blew up. Shout out to them. I ain't really gonna blow them up. I'll mention them later. But there's some people where I know they ain't making a whole bunch of money off what they're doing, but because of who they are in their story and how comfortable they are in their skin, they are influencing people in a positive way, because they're showing people that you can be comfortable in your skin, and you can rock anything that you put on as long as you're confident. So when it comes to fashion, you can be an influencer, but you got to know there's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just throw on anything and, oh, I'm getting money off. Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't do fashion, but I do know that, because I'm about to go into something totally different. But I do know that if you're a model and you influence others to follow their passion and their dreams through your story and what you're doing in your career, then you're an influencer.
Okay.
You're an influencer and a
But they
motivator.
have, like, I guess, a backstory. And then when they have, like, even models that are like that they have a backstory, they have something that's like that driving them to want to be a model and an influencer, they always have something in their back pocket that they're starting to get good at. Whether that's learning how to do certain pictures or whether that's learning how to design clothes or something. They always have something in the backdrop, like in their back pocket, not backdrop. Back pocket. And then it's just like, oh, I tried this out and I start to like it. And then I start to get more crafty at it and get better at it. So I will agree with you on that, but I just do notice that aspect. So I do notice, like, prime example, Notorious Kia.
No, I know what you said. I just wanted to say, I agree, but
stop.
All the time.
Okay, we had that conversation yesterday. Right. So for prime example, like Notorious Kia, she made her, Okay, so she's a YouTuber that actually I really like. She started her channel about 10 years ago, and it was based off of thrifting. So she didn't have a lot of money, so she would go to thrift stores and she would DIY a lot of her clothes, and it
which
was
is what
great.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, so but that was her skill. She started to get really good at it. She started to put different funky patterns together, and on top of that, that's how she built her brand and marketing, right? But now also she owns her own clothing line, and she can pick out certain patterns. So I would call her an influencer because her niche is
she influencing others? So this is how I know you didn't understand what I just said. You calling
she's influencing others. Wait. She's influencing others to be not more conservative. What's the word when it's not consignment. It's I forgot. So, sustainable. So she's being an influencer of sustainable clothing and sustainable project. Like, not constantly going to the mall and buying clothes instead of like resourcing.
Does she actually have a following where she can say, I have this amount of people and they're doing that?
Yeah. Like, people actually, like, if you go to her, tag her page, and, like, you can see, like, people are like, oh, these are the DIY projects I took, like, how do you make a crop top blazer? And then those, like, they'll end up sending it in to her.
And what are they doing?
They're following her content.
Regular people?
Yeah, they're regular people.
No, so when I think about influence, I think about, like, your ability to motivate others, but your ability to motivate others to get to a point of increased popularity, whatever they need. So it's like, okay, if I follow a YouTuber and I call them an influencer, I'm like, yo, they influence me to get in the gym and to work out, stuff like that. But I'm in the gym, I ain't really working. I'm not really working on. I didn't get to where I didn't reach my goals. Are they really influencing you? So the reason why I said Dr. Eric Thomas is because he did a speech for the men's Baylor basketball team before they won the national championship. He influenced them in a way. They probably had more motivation from other places, but he was one of those people that influenced him or influenced that team to take it all the way, to go above and beyond what they thought they might have been able to do. So that's the thing. It's like, it's one thing to have followers. It's another thing to have followers that actually start to walk in their own essence and start to reach those goals. It's just to have followers that start to do hobbies. Okay, cool. But to have followers that do hobbies and they turn it into the goals that they're trying to reach, that's different. That's influence. That's when you can call yourself an influencer. If you can't do that, you're not an influencer. You're just somebody that makes YouTube videos that has a skill that everybody can follow now. But can you lead them toward that? You probably can't help them drink, but can you lead them toward it? Can you lead them to that championship game? They might lose by 50, but can you lead them there? That's an influencer.
Okay. So you feel like most people out here that call themselves influencers aren't really influencers? Kind of like how I feel.
There's a whole bunch of comedians that call themselves influencers. No, you're just funny. You're a comedian. You funny.
But do you feel like they're giving hope to the next generation?
You funny. You giving people laughter. Laughter is it makes people feel good. It makes them move forward. But you don't. They don't need to get that from you. They can get that from TikTok. They can get that from their friends. They don't need you to give them laughter. It just so happens that you really funny to where every time they turn on a video, you making them laugh. Desi Banks, he funny. He mad funny. I think he hilarious. But I don't need Desi Banks to make me laugh. That's the thing. It's like you're a comedian. You're not an influencer.
Does he call himself an influencer though?
I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm just using him as an example. But there's other comedians on the internet who call themselves influencers. Like what's her name? Zoe. Zoe.
I am Zoe?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know he called himself an influencer.
I'm pretty, because there's been times where I say her because he likes her, so I'll just say her for right now, or I'll say they. They like to, or they've been on Instagram Lives and they said, I think I'm an influencer. Okay.
I think that influencer title is just so loose now that
it's a gratification.
Like it's literally so loose now that nobody.
We don't know what it is.
Yeah, nobody. It has its own definition now of what it is, but it's like, I think the only person I would identify, like I said, outside of Notorious Kia, is Shan Boudreaux.
That's another thing. If you're an influencer, if you're a real
well,
influencer, people gotta know you. I don't know who that is.
Well, see, I know because I love her and I've met her in person. She's a sexologist, so she's also a sex educator as well.
She's an educator.
She is, but she's also an influencer because she's actually helped women like take more charge in their sexual lives, and on top of that, she's actually helping women of color actually start creating their own businesses, small little businesses, and kind of getting into that niche as well.
Has she
and building
created
the confidence.
Another sexologist?
Huh?
Has she created another sexologist?
I wouldn't know.
Because
I don't think she's like telling anybody like, oh, people aren't coming up to her like, thank you, like because of you, like I became a sexologist. No, I don't think that's really happening. But like I do know that in one of her videos, a few of her videos, people have said to her like, thank you, like because of you, I decided I wanted to start my own like little business and within that field. And
but don't you feel like a real influencer? If you're an influencer in your craft, then you should be able to influence people in your craft. If you're just influencing somebody on something else, or you're just teaching somebody on something, you're just an educator. But if you're an expert in your craft and you're influencing somebody if you're leading somebody to the water, which is your craft, then you're a real influencer. But if you're leading somebody to water, which is just another skill they could have, you're just an educator. You're teaching them about something. But you can't necessarily lead them to that that promised land of whatever goal that is. I don't even know if I'm making sense right now, but to me it makes sense. It's like if I'm an influencer in whatever craft I have, I'm gonna influence people in that direction. I'm not gonna influence somebody in something that I don't have much expertise on myself. If that's the case, you're an educator. You're just teaching somebody about something and you're learning along the way because teachers learn too. But an influencer leads a person to their water.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. It's gonna be people that's watching this that's gonna be like, oh, it don't make no sense. It's cool. That's just, to me, it makes sense.
Okay.
Which is why it's a lot of titles, influencer, friend, like it's a lot of titles I don't just give out to people. Like, now you gotta earn that first. And influencer is one of those things. I don't think a lot of people that call themselves influencers but not influencers, they're just funny, or they just have a skill, or they're just a teacher. I don't call them influencers.
But I feel like when they say influencers, that over time they build a following and people try and follow in their footsteps. Are they successful in it? No. But at least they're like, oh, because of you, I tried to build more confidence to do this. Or like maybe it doesn't even always have to be in their field. It's just like you've built me up the confidence where I'm able to, take charge and feel more valuable in my life.
I guess. I don't know. I think
or they influence people to buy certain things or do certain things. That's what I've noticed a lot of people are calling influencers. They're like, oh, like I influence people to like, I'm about to say that something that's gonna get me really, really.
Her words.
That's gonna get me probably looked at crazy. I feel like a lot of people that do Forex now are influencers.
Her words. Her words. I ain't say nothing. I forgot. Yeah, I wasn't even gonna say nothing about that. Her words. Her words. Go ahead.
They are
her words. Because I got friends that do Forex, and they know, you feel me, like, I respect what y'all doing. I respect the grind. You feel me? It's not for me. I'm not gonna talk on it. But it's her words. I don't know what she about to say. Disclaimer, I don't know what she about to say. I don't know where it's gonna go. It's her words. That's what I'm saying. So if y'all want to get mad at anybody,
no, I'm not going to knock them because, like I said, I got friends, I got family.
Because you was doing it at one point.
I was, and I don't have one thing I made it
friendly fire.
No, but the funny thing is that I didn't say that Forex doesn't work. Forex works. And there's nothing against the market itself. Like, I know, I've had the results. It works. I just knew that growing with that company in which they're under, I'm not with that aspect.
So you saying they're not influencers?
I feel like they're influencing people's decisions to sign up.
I ain't gonna hold you.
I do.
Look, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not big on Forex in the point, like, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna do it myself. But if they wasn't influencers before, I think Forex, there's a whole bunch of influencers in Forex. I'll give y'all that.
Thank you.
Because next thing I know, because every other week for like a couple months ago, whatever, like every week you seeing some P150 chairman. It's like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of influencers. So like
it's turned into like an influencer market.
Because but the thing about Forex is the reason why you could call Forex and the people that do Forex influencers is because, like I said, they're honing in on their craft and what makes them
But
work.
are they really
hold on.
crafted?
I know. Okay, you thinking a little too deep. Just think surface right now. They're honing on to what their craft is and their specialty, whatever the Forex thing is, and they're influencing others to follow in those exact footsteps, and they're leading people toward. That's influencing. That's real influence because you have expertise on that. I don't know everybody's everybody's credentials when it comes to that stuff because I don't really care. But I'm just saying, to me, it seems like there's a lot of influencers in that realm, that field, whatever y'all want to call that. So I respect that. However, I do believe, and this is what I was going to say before, but there is a lot of negative influence with everything too. So there's a lot of influencers that for sure are influencers, but they're negative influencers. And they're not helping our generation. They're not helping anybody. But because our generation likes instant gratification and our generation lacks the ability to be honest with one another or the ability to cherish honesty that they get from their friends, they believe that the stuff that they're hearing from these negative influencers are actually positive.
Okay.
And, I don't want to talk about Forex, but
I just noticed that, like, in the last few years, and especially because now I have so many friends that are part of it, and some of them are making a bag off it. To them, congratulations. I wish you the most success. Like, my hope is that when they take that money and they, they do something for their community, they do something for their family, they create the generational wealth that actually, helps the Black community or people of color, whoever is a part of it, because I have different friends that are in different races. I just noticed that they've all started to call themselves influencers, but I'm like, why are you calling yourself influencers if you got, I'm not going to say it's not a craft or it's not a skill, but it's like.
I think it's a skill.
But it's like they're really marketing. It's a marketing skill, but
that's
it's
a
like.
hard skill to learn.
But the thing is, for that, it's like, could you take that same skill that you're using to do Forex and put into another niche that you might actually be good at?
I believe so. It's marketing. It's marketing. You might not be marketing Forex. You might be marketing.
But
you might be marketing a pillow.
Can't. A lot of them
cannot.
Okay.
Market. Then that's them. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like there's a few people that I know that, they market Forex on a regular, and I feel like if they put that energy into marketing something else, I feel like they'd be successful. That's how I really do feel that way. I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest. However, that's not what if
they're just all following the same blueprint. But the blueprint is bad. Like I said, I've done it. It works, but you have to know yourself. It ain't for everybody. Like
for me,
it wasn't for me, and I realized that it didn't really focus a lot on what I do as a life coach, focusing in mental health. So that's why I decided to get out of it. But out of the Forex market itself, I don't mind trading, just not a part of the whole entire group. But
I respect everybody do it.
Yeah,
I give friends that do it.
I respect them. I give them their dues respect because
get your bag, but me getting the bag is going to look completely different.
Right.
Because I get more. Anybody that knows me, you know me. Anybody knows me, like I get more satisfaction out of chasing a bag that comes with a little bit more effort.
That and the slowly and steady runs the race. That's what I've always believed.
Right. I like that. I like that. My fault. I don't mean to cut you off, but I like that race. Like I like to be in a long distance race when it comes to career and being successful. Because you learn more along the way. But I'm just a very competitive person, and I have no problem with running a longer race than I need to. So in instant gratification, a lot of people when they sell these other things, they sell instant gratification. It's like, well, you do this, we make money. Get like, okay, cool, but and then the one thing I don't like is when people market those things like Forex and they bash the people that don't do it and are chasing a bag. Like myself, people be like, oh, you getting a degree, that's a scam, that's a waste of time, blah blah blah. When you could just come over here and chase your bag, do what you got to do, and it's gonna happen like that. Like, no, I don't want stuff that happens like that. I want to work for things. That's what I heard when I was a youngin'. If you really want the bag and you really want to earn what you want and be able to keep it and be able to sustain it throughout your life, you need to really go through the steps and take those building blocks, build your way to the top. I'm not trying to just be giving it. I want to earn everything. So that's the type of person I am. So,
I think you also learn how to value it.
Yeah, I value
a lot more when you work for it. Like, I'm learning I don't allow it to affect me or my business because it's like I know that I value my business a lot more when I grow with it and have the small like victories and have the small losses, because that shows me that some things are going to work, some things are not going to work. Like if everything works out in my favor, it makes me kind of appreciate it less. I know that might sound crazy,
of course.
But that's just the truth. Like,
you crying?
No.
I'm about to say,
no. No, like I really appreciate my business a lot more. The fact that it hasn't worked out the first 2 years. Like I thought it was gonna work out. Like I didn't have a big clientele going into 2-3 years. Now I've had to restart over my plan A. Now I'm on plan B. Like sometimes it takes you getting to plan D to get as successful as you want it to be. Sometimes it takes like almost 20 years, like just not giving up. Like it took J.K. Rowling's 13. Yeah. She went through like 120 no's before she got her one yes.
And Harry Potter is
yeah, like 120 publishing companies said no to her.
But that's what she...
So, and she didn't give up. And it took her 13 years, if I'm not mistaken. 13 years of so many no's. Or people trying to change the stories. Or like them just not seeing value in the work. And now she's worth millions. Made so many movies. So yeah, like
it's all about betting on you.
Exactly. And
I bet on myself all the time.
And I see value in my work and what I do. It's just I have to learn maybe how to market it better. I have to maybe do a lot more research in it. And like I know my skill and niche is valuable because there's money in that market. It's just I'm young and I know that there's so much growth that has to be done internally, externally, and just moving within the business. So that instant gratification, I try and not let it kind of manifest or fester into my business, because then it's like it makes me not eager to do the work that I'm doing. Like, it's great, but it's like I don't focus. Okay, let me change it. I like it to a certain extent. Like, I don't focus a lot more on it. I focus a lot more on the long term of where I see it going. Because there's so many things I want to do. I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
So, that's definitely going to take me some years. Definitely going to take me some years. But yeah, so one of my last questions for you is, how has instant gratification affected our dating relationships for our generation?
It affects everything.
You gotta explain.
I'm trying to like. This one of the things you gotta creep around because.
Nope, you gotta be blunt.
No, you know my bluntness. I'm not about to be blunt.
Yes, you can.
No, I'm not about to be blunt because you done got crucified about twice on this video. I like to keep my image.
Wow.
No, I'm just saying, like, all right, so how does instant gratification affect relationships?
Mm-hmm. You want me to go off?
No, there's a lot. No, I'm laughing because there's so much to it. It's like, it's hilarious, right? So, like, instant gratification, right?
Mm-hmm.
People want, this is just an example. People want love but don't want to work for it.
I 100% agree.
It's like,
I 100% agree.
We're talking, like, I just saw a video. I think it was on TikTok or something. I don't even know. It was on social media. And I don't believe in talking stage, but we can get into that in another video. But a girl was talking to a guy. I want to say he was probably like 18, 19 or something like that. And she wanted to do like a prank on him. So she got some of her friends to like meet him at a basketball court or whatever. And one of the girls hit on him, and the girl in the car that he's talking to, she wanted to see if he would be loyal. But yet they're talking. They ain't together. They ain't in love. Nothing. But they in the car like, he better be loyal. He better show that he love her or something. And it's like, y'all talking. Y'all not even together. Y'all ain't even work. Y'all don't even work towards anything that love has to offer. You don't even know what that means yet. So why does he have to be loyal to you?
I can answer that question. If y'all have had a discussion, right? So
they're talking.
Okay, wait, listen. I've been in the talking phase with certain people.
The talking phase is not even real.
Okay, I get it. But if you've been in the talking stage with somebody and y'all are preparing to be in a relationship, you kind of wait.
See, that's the problem right there.
Wait,
that's the problem.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
How you gonna skip 2 or 3 phrases and you gonna go from talking to being with somebody?
Okay, I said, hear me out. I said, you're talking, right? Y'all talking, still getting to know each other, still figuring things out. But if you've made this person like, okay, I'm putting my interest in you a lot more than I'm no longer like seeking other people. Like, my interest is mainly in focusing on you, right? If y'all had this common understanding that I'm not going to talk to anybody else or I'm not going to engage with anybody else, then I've been in those situations like when I'm like, all right, if I'm talking to somebody, I'm like, I'm not focusing my energy on anybody else. I'm not going on
That's the problem.
But I'm not saying that has to be the case scenario for everybody. You don't have to be loyal, but if we sit down and have a discussion and I say, you can't go out and go do A, B, C. And you say, okay, I'm okay with that. If I don't disagree with, like, I don't like this, but then, or it's like, but you can't do A, B.
This is a selfish and toxic way of thinking. When it comes to, first of all, talking is not a thing to me. That's number one. Talking is stupid.
So do you think that was created by women, or do you think that was
I don't know damn who created it. I just know it don't work. It's not a real thing. It's very fictional. It needs dating. You need to date. And when you're dating people, you need to date multiple people. You can't just date one person and think you're going to find everything in that one person. Because like I've told you before, I don't believe that there's one soulmate. I believe that you have multiple soulmates, whether they be people that you marry, there's people that you meet, people that are there for reasons or people that's there for seasons. You're not supposed to be only dating one person and only stay with that person unless you exclusively dating that person. Like, I done throw you on the gram. I done told my parents about you. You done met all my friends. People know we in love. That's different. If you dating exclusively and that's your person, that's your person. That's different. But if you dating just to figure out who that person is, and if you could see yourself with them, you need to take your ass and date a few more people so you can see if that's really the person you want to be with. Because you might be dating, you might be going on dates with this person over here. You might be going on dates with person A, and you might be going on dates with person B. And person A might have something that person B doesn't have, and vice versa. But person B has a little bit more of what you need. So you try to balance that out. You balance it out, and you realize I'm not made to be with person A, so I'm gonna go over here with person B because I feel like I would enjoy myself or be able to really prosper in that relationship. But if you just hold on to person A because you like, oh, we had a discussion, so I'm only gonna put my eggs in this basket, but yeah, we ain't married, we ain't exclusive, we ain't nothing. I barely know your favorite color. That's stupid. That doesn't happen. Stupid.
It doesn't happen just automatically.
It happens all the time.
No, okay.
Relationships are dumb toxic now. People done normalize toxicity because of stuff like that. People have normalized toxicity, yo. That's why our relationships don't work, because people normalize toxicity. And you can't tell me that's false, because that's a fact. That's a fact. The reason why a lot of our relationships in our community do not work is because of toxicity. People normalized it. People have normalized it. That's why they don't work. I know I'm right.
You're not wrong at all.
I know that.
I never said that you were wrong on that one. That I will 100% agree with. What I was trying to say is that, okay, say if I meet person A, right? Me and person A have been, going on dates. We like each other. We've been doing this for about 2-3 months, right? And we're getting that phase where we're preparing to get more serious and be in a relationship. I'll consider that more of the serious dating, or what people prefer to say talking.
So how long? So how many days you gonna go on before you all get to a point where it's like, all right, let's talk about being exclusive? How many days is that? Because that's different for everybody. But I have an actual number that I believe is correct. But let me hear, because if you say 3, then I know you ain't.
I don't think it's 3.
It's definitely more than 5, more than 6. And if you want to think a time frame, it's definitely more than a few months.
Oh no, okay.
Maybe a month or 2.
Like for me, I'm gonna go off Steve Harvey's. He said it takes people that are married or people that are in long-term relationships. It takes them almost 169 days to 180 days to know if they seriously want to be with this person long-term. So for me, I'm gonna cut that half and say for me to know that I want to be with you in a relationship, it would take me about 90 days. And so how many dates we go on within those 90 days would determine if I can see myself in a relationship with you.
Okay.
So, say if we went on a date every week, and that 90 days.
Well, that ain't a lot.
Yeah, if you went on a small date every week, or you did a big date, whatever that is, then that would determine for me maybe date 5 or date 6. I might like this person, or I might need a little bit more time. But if by date 9 or 10, if I say, I really don't see me going forward with this, I would know by then. It wouldn't take me going
so with you
date
saying
25
that,
for me to know that.
So if you going on date 9 or 10 and you trying to figure out if I can be with this person, if you're trying to figure all of that out by date 9 or 10, then you should do yourself a favor and continue to see other people at the same time. That way, if by date 9 or 10, you feel that person A is not the person you're supposed to be with, at least you have other people to entertain just in case. You know what I'm saying? Don't waste your time.
But by date 9 or 10, if I like you, if I like you by date 9 or 10,
cut them off. Just that simple.
Okay, so then you get into that more serious, let's get in dating and talking about maybe what relationships are gonna look like. Right? So that's what I'm thinking with those
conversations. Those conversations need to be had
in the dating.
At least by date 4, day 5, you need to start having those serious conversations, because once you get to a point where you're ready to be exclusive, that's a whole nother conversation, because then you're going to be talking about, well, what does exclusive look like for us? Who's going to know? What we talking about? If somebody asks, what we going to say? I've never really been in that situation. So I don't really know myself, but I know for a fact that conversation is going to be a lot different than the conversation you're supposed to be having for day 4, day 5, day 6 when it comes to like what does a relationship look like and what are your intentions. That question needs to be had by the first date. What are your intentions with me in my heart? And if you can't answer that, then you need to leave.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Do you think...
I can tell by her reaction she don't agree.
I do agree. I mean, technically, I'm going to tell you, I can't say why I agree. If you could think why.
No.
The first time. When I first met you.
Oh.
So you knew off rip. I came with that same energy. But
that's another story.
It is another story. We're not going to dive deep into this. What did you... No. Now, when you're dating women, I guess, what is something that can automatically turn you off? That kind of like...
Oh, automatic.
Like yeah, automatic. Date? Yeah, from that first date.
We talking about physical? We talking about everything?
Mm-hmm. Like, not even physical, just...
I'm about to say, because physical, we ain't gonna go out on a date if I'm rock with you physically. That's...
Okay.
That's most... If you go on a date with, like, perfect example, if you go on a date with somebody, and you know you're not attracted to them, I really do have to question you as a person. So, I don't know if you watch Marriage at First Sight.
Is that the two...
Like Chris and Paige? And she wasn't... He didn't find her attractive, but he still got married. Wait,
are we talking about the one that's on, like... That's not Lifetime. Are you talking about the show, right? Or are you talking about...
I think it is on Lifetime.
Okay.
But it's... Or Lifetime or I forgot what channel it's on, but this past season... And I don't want to, like, bash Christian on it because I think he has his own problems and we're not really talking about everything. But he got married to Paige. Beautiful woman. He got married to Paige, had sexual relations with Paige, and then it came out later that he wasn't even attracted to her. That type of situation is like, bruh. Bruh, what? No.
Access.
So,
easy access.
On national TV? That's messed up.
Easy access.
You got black men looking crazy on national TV. But
easy
anyway,
access.
I understand it. I get it. But if I'm not physically attracted to you, we're not even going to go on a date. And I'm not going to be rude about it. Just be like, oh, like I'm not interested, or I'm worried about other things. Like you have to let them know easily, but it wouldn't even get that far. But when it does get that far, your questions, what turns me off about?
Mm-hmm. What turns you off about modern women now? Let's put a little Kevin Samuels sprinkle on it. What turns you?
Her words. Nah,
Kevin Samuels.
I rock with Kevin. I rock with Kevin Samuels. I don't agree with everything that he says, but Godfather. Godfather. It's a few things. I ain't gonna lie. It's a few things for me. It's the type of energy that you give, like masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like that.
Is it all types of masculine energy, or is it like to a certain extent?
What you mean?
Like I feel like there are levels to masculine energy. Like you could be a... See,
I don't think there's levels. I think it's just period. Like masculine energy. It's like I don't want to go on a date with a woman who wants to be me. But
that's what I said. Like I think like you be masculine energy.
Be me and mentally.
Okay.
I mean me like I don't want a woman that's gonna come to the date be like I gotta do what the man does to impress him or to make sure I'm not being taken advantage of. So you never give advantage of mentally or whatever, or financially, whatever. So you never give the man the opportunity to be the man and to do what we were raised to do. If you were raised to be a gentleman, you were raised to do certain things. And if you come with a certain level of energy as the woman and I don't get the chance to actually do what I was raised to do and do what makes me feel comfortable in that situation, then I can't be with you because it lets me know that you're not able to compromise in certain situations.
Okay.
That I don't like. So being able to compromise, being able to, take a seat, take a few places, like, play a role. Just like I'll play a role. Like if we're not on the same page there, then no.
Okay. So a woman that has masculine energy. Okay. What else? Do you not like when women overtalk you? How does that affect?
Relax.
How you see them?
Honestly, like I said before with Fresh and Fit content, I think Kevin does that for content purposes. I honestly feel like he really doesn't like that. And I understand why he's doing it because Fresh and Fit do the same thing. Like they don't like when people overtalk them. I get them, it's their show, right? I never had a conversation with somebody that was like really trying to overtalk me except you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, because I was about to say.
You do that all the time. She do it all the time, but like I've gotten used to knowing that like that's just who she is. Like I just gotta deal with it. I don't have to deal with it, but it's like I have enough patience to be like, all right, like that's her personality. Like it is what it is.
But would you prefer me to not be like that?
If we were pursuing something, yeah. Like I would, because I don't want every time we have a conversation to feel like we're butting heads. I want us to be able to have a peaceful conversation that can actually lead to something. Like if I'm trying to say something and you over talking me and you trying to say something, I'm over talking you. Like all we're doing is anger and getting on each other's nerves, becoming angry and not being able to actually get to the root of what we were actually trying to talk about. Like if we can't have that discussion without butting heads, it's annoying. It's annoying. Now, if a woman is doing that to me and I have no intentions on being with her, like I might be like, yo, like, all right, you tripping? You know what I'm saying?
You cursed me out a few times.
Cause I got to the point where I was like, I don't
even
nothing from it. You know what I'm saying?
You've cursed me out a few times.
But that's because I got comfortable with you, and it depends on sometimes, because sometimes you say some crazy stuff, or I was actually like making a point, or I might have been passionate about a point or something, and you was just like, man, forget your point. I'm gonna say what I need to say. That is a different level. Like you said, that do you like people over talking you? And you was talking about Kevin saying, well, sometimes women be over talking him, not in a menacing way, but sometimes you be doing that in a menacing way. So I be feeling like you think I ain't gonna spaz on you, and then when I do, you like, oh my god, it's like yo, like it's only but so much you're gonna be able to take. So that's how I look at it.
I don't feel like I always do it in a menacing way.
Exactly. The people that do it in a menacing way always the people that do things in a menacing way,
I don't feel like
always feel like they're not doing it in a menacing way.
Done it in a menacing way. I think I will agree with you. I do a lot of things to prove my point. I do.
Because you like to be right. So
we just had this conversation.
You like to be right so much. Exactly.
I do not like to be right. I don't always like to be right.
Look at you. Look at you now. We on camera. You doing this? I'm trying to get a point out. I don't like to be right. I don't like to be right. I heard you. It's like I heard you. You don't like to be right. 5 words. You don't like to. I heard you.
Okay.
We good.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, it ain't that serious. Like, okay, I got you. I heard you. Like, all right.
But you've been saying that for 2 years now, sir.
2 years. All right. 2 years.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in September that we've known each other.
You counting?
I just always remember because that's when I started working at Lincoln.
Of course you count.
I don't count. It's just I remember that because the school year is coming to the end. June is literally this month, technically, because we're going into a new month as of tomorrow. And then, yeah. So it's really 2 years. That's all I know in that aspect.
Well, yeah, that's another thing I don't like. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me like Kevin, like people talking over. It doesn't bother me. But however, depending on how much you're doing it and depending on like your intentions behind it, like if you're trying to be an a-hole about it, I might look at you a little bit differently. And that's a form of masculine energy in and of itself. So that's another thing. I'm trying to think some other things.
Things that turn you off?
Things that turn me off, yeah. Right.
Do you feel like instant gratification has ever played a part in your relationships in the past? Do you want to answer this question?
I mean, I can without naming names.
Okay.
Damn. I mean, I mean, one situation, yeah. Let me think. There's been a few people. That's what I'm like.
I feel like in my relationships, it has and it hasn't.
That's right. I feel the same way, but at the same time, like,
because like I haven't made it like so potent. Like now that I'm older, I really don't. If I get into a relationship, I don't care to post my significant other. Like, yeah, it's cool if we do, or it's cool if we don't, but I don't care. Like, or it's like I like the idea of growing with somebody.
You can grow with somebody and still get posted.
Yeah, but it's like you gotta keep up with the Joneses in certain aspects. Like, oh, like look what my bae's done for me. Like,
no, you don't. You just post. No, you just really when people post their significant other, they just let people know, like, yo, I got somebody. Like, don't text me no more.
But it's not even just okay. Maybe how I see a lot of girls nowadays when it comes to their relationships is like. It's always on Valentine's Day. It's always on like every month anniversary. It's on like special occasions, like Christmases, Thanksgiving. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying that, but it's just like they looking for that clout to get from like the likes and stuff like that. Like
no, I don't think so. I think they just kind of following the wave.
Correct.
I mean, all right. Think about Mother's Day, right?
I didn't post my mom this year.
I'm not talking about you. You ate the world. I posted my mom. Everybody's posting their moms. Like, if everybody posting their mom, I'm gonna feel like, damn, if I'm posting my mom, like, you know, it might make her feel like she ain't special enough. So it's the same thing with like holidays like Valentine's Day. Damn, all my friends posting their man. I'm like, post my man. Like that's probably how a woman is thinking. Yeah, you're gonna get mad likes because it's Valentine's Day. They're gonna be like, oh my god, you're cute. Like of course that's gonna happen. But I don't think women is like.
I think women do it to show like this is their man,
because
a lot of people
like, because you're supposed to do
like
that. I'm not supposed to do that.
Okay, no. This is what I'm about to say, and I'm praying I don't get crucified. So I'm saying a lot of things that it's just observations. So a lot of women be dating the same man. And they don't, and we don't, and they be thinking they don't know. So it's like, who can post him first without?
I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. And if it is the case, that's our community. We do that.
I think it's just the generation. You think like this don't happen in other communities?
I don't think a lot of stuff that happens.
You're butt chirping.
Okay, let me fix my chair. Even Kevin said this, and it's a fact. A lot of things that happens in our community don't happen in other communities.
It's not
right
as
or wrong.
It's
that
not as potent in other communities. It's not as potent.
That whole idea of she got my man and I got hers, where'd that come from? What community? You looking at me because you know I'm just saying.
It happens in other communities. Like they just don't talk about it. They just don't talk about it.
And right, toxicity.
But they don't talk about it. It may bother them, but they don't talk about it. It still happens. You're acting like it still doesn't happen.
I'm not saying that stuff like that doesn't happen, but the way we handle it is very toxic.
I will agree with you.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. We need to learn how to handle conflict within our relationships a different way. We can't keep blasting our stuff all over the internet and fighting each other on the internet.
Because black people, I hate to say it, black people do seek validation.
We are. I think that's a generational thing. I can't even say black people only do. I think everybody does that. Everybody seeks.
Yeah, but we seek validation for our negative behavior. Tell me I'm lying.
No, this sometimes I don't think. Come on, I think everybody does that. Everybody does that. For negative, everybody does that. Everybody does that.
Okay.
White people do it all the time.
Well, that's obvious.
Okay, then. So I don't think that's just a black thing.
But in certain aspects, there's certain things that black people know they can seek validation in that, because being a black woman will get behind one black woman that thinks she's right. I will get for that. I don't want to be the one. You know, just in a year, my mind has slightly changed on certain things. Because
you finally opened up. So you finally opened to what I've been trying to say. It's like
certain things have changed. I mean, okay. I see your point in certain aspects. I know. I see your point. But what's the worst thing you think is like affecting our generation when it comes to instant gratification and dating?
The worst thing? Just not being able to communicate. Because in a real conversation, and when it comes to like real communication, like effective communication takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. Our generation is not used to having to work for something, when it like having to work for an answer, having to work for understanding. They want understanding like this.
Do you think that's because of our parents, or you don't think that's because of social media? Or
but social media is us. I don't think our parents have nothing to do with it.
I believe sometimes that our parents spoon-fed us so many things because they didn't have it growing up.
Spoon-fed not being able to communicate? I'm talking about communicating with like a significant other.
Okay, no. So, a lot of Black people did not grow up with two-parent household. You were blessed with that. I was not.
Okay.
So, because they didn't know how to communicate, because it was only mom in the household, and mom, not saying my mother at all, mom in Black households had many different boyfriends or was dealing with many people, or she was just alone on her own, which was typically maybe the case like for my mom. Like, I've seen my mom date, but not really at the same time. So with that being said, is they don't know how to effectively communicate because it wasn't in their everyday scenario. Or like if they saw communication, it might have been from a grandparent, but guess what? Grandpa was there, but did him and grandma always have, a healthy relationship? He might have just always been there to go to work, do what he got to do. So you never saw maybe the lovey-dovey type of relationships and things like that because it's not in your...
I'm not saying effective communication don't have to be lovey-dovey. It don't have to be lovey-dovey. Like, hey, how was your day? Hey, dear, kiss me on the cheek. Like, it don't have to be that. Effective communication is just like, can we have a communication without somebody wanting to strangle the other person? Like, you just have to be able to talk, because communication is like one of the keys. Like, that's one of the core aspects of marriage. And at the end of the day, that's what most people want. They want to be married and stuff like that.
No, I think our generation cares for the wedding. They don't care for the marriage. Tell me I'm lying.
I'm about to say something crazy.
Tell me I'm lying.
I think that's half the generation. Because that's not...
I think as they start to get older...
Men don't care about weddings.
Okay, so women.
Because that's not our day. So to say...
Why do men not feel like...
It's not our day. It's never been our day. The wedding has never been our day. It doesn't matter how many suggestions we want to give. It's never been our day. It's always been a woman's day. A woman's dream. Like, that's always been y'all's dream. A wedding has never been a man's thing. We get dressed for it. We get the groomsmen for it. We might even pay for it. It's never been our thing. We don't care about weddings like that. There are some people like myself, of course, like I would want it to be a bigger wedding so I can invite certain people. But if that's not what my wife wants, if she wants something small, I'm willing to compromise for it. I might feel some type of way because I might not be able to invite all the people that I want to invite. But if that's a woman I love, I'm able to compromise. But on the other hand, if it was women, a lot of women struggle with compromising. Look at the wedding.
Maybe it's me. I just don't care for a wedding.
It is you. See, that's the only thing too. Like, I want to be somebody. I
care to have a wedding. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like there's so much work and stress that goes into it. I really just care about starting my life with the person I'm married to.
But I feel like certain traditions solidify your marriage, and I feel like a wedding is one of those things. It don't have to be a huge wedding, but I feel like if you don't, I wouldn't feel married to somebody if I didn't engage in a wedding. If I didn't have witnesses of the marriage. If I didn't have my family members there present. If I wasn't able to have son mother dance, like certain things.
Of
I wouldn't
course.
feel like I was actually married to a person. I would just feel like I met this person, we connected. I call her my wife, she calls me husband. We live in our life, but that's about it. Of course, you would get over that, right? But at first, I feel like this don't really feel like a marriage because we didn't really go through all the steps. You kind of like I want to jump the broom, right? I want to jump the broom because my parents did that, and my mom still got the broom, so she waiting for that. So it's like if I meet somebody, and she's like, I don't want a wedding. Well, damn.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from. Let me just clarify this. It's not the fact that I don't want a wedding. I feel like this culture has put such a heap of an importance on the wedding day instead of the marriage, that it makes me not look forward to having a wedding. So like I can have a small wedding of like 30, 40 people and be happy, 20 on both sides. Like,
that's fine.
And I don't need to do everything. And then on top of that, because you got to find the place to get married, and then typically people don't want to get married at the same place that they had their wedding reception at and whatnot. So it's just like
that's why you gotta be strategic when
of course
planning. It's just that simple.
Of course, but it's just it's gotten so people care so much about the wedding, and then it's like 2-3 years later they're not even married. For prime example, Safari and Erica Mena. They're getting divorced.
Come on, you talking about
celebrities. I'm just saying.
Stop.
Matter of fact,
how many celebrities you know that really stay together?
Okay, Matter of fact, I'll even tell you this.
I'm talking about black celebrities.
I don't know.
Exactly. How many black couples can we say actually stay together without ever like divorcing, breaking up? It's far and it's far and few. We can't even really name them. That's the crazy thing. It's like the ones that have stayed together are the ones that we never talk about. So like, that's why people.
Washington and his wife.
Yeah, like that's what I don't even know if they've been together.
They've been together for almost 30 years.
Great. We will never talk about them. We're going to talk about Safari
because his wife is not famous.
But he is. That's Denzel Washington, though. Denzel was getting panties thrown at him all through his career. He ain't never done nothing crazy. But we want to talk about Safari and Eric.
I'm just giving you somebody that's prime example, like update. But I would say
I knew that wasn't gonna work. I wasn't surprised.
Like I was having this conversation last year with my coworker, and she was telling me how her friend got married, and they had a it was between $40,000 to $50,000 wedding, and she said within 2-3 years they were divorced. And it's just like, for me, when I hear that, it's not even that like, oh my God, like it makes me not surprised, but it's like I watched my uncle get married, and they got married, the 3 days after my birthday, and they're not married no more. So just seeing things like that. It's not about that, but it's like, why spend so much money on?
It's not even before that.
But a lot. The main reason people get divorced nowadays is for financial. The number one is financial.
I'm gonna tell you the reason that people don't talk about. Yeah, I understand the financial reason, right? The real reason why a lot of people get divorced because they don't know each other. Because they went through a talking stage and they really didn't date each other. So,
but if you're dating somebody for 4 years, that means you don't know somebody?
You could be dating somebody for 10 years and don't know somebody. You could be dating a serial killer. You won't even know. You don't know that person.
So how long do you think you need to date somebody before? I
don't have a time limit on it. It's not about how long you date somebody. It's how you date somebody. The questions you ask, the intent behind the dating. I tell people now, any woman that I'm interested in, if they interested in me, it's like I'm dating to one day like settle down and to get married. I date for a purpose. I don't date just to be around you. I'm dating to really get to know you. If we're gonna be something, I want to know everything about you and vice versa. Like, let's be transparent. Because when it comes down to when we actually get married, I'm not divorcing nobody. If we have an argument or an issue, we're going to work it out. Because at the end of the day, we went before God and we connected ourselves. So it's like, I don't believe in divorce. I've never seen it. I've seen it with friends. I haven't seen it in my own household. I don't believe in it. So it's like, if I'm with somebody, I'm going to get to know everything about you. And if you're not doing that with the person you with, that's your fault. It's just that simple. That's why people get divorced. Yeah, people always say about finances, kids. It's you don't know your partner.
Infidelity.
Okay, but you don't know your partner. If you knew your partner, then you would know that the financial piece. You would know that that's what happened. Think about what you call it, Girlfriends, the show, when Tony started dating the doctor, and she got married to the doctor, and then right after they got married, then she realized that he was broke, cause she didn't know that man. All she knew was that he could protect her from a robber. Like she didn't know him though. If she really knew him and took the time, let's think about how Tony was dating and who she was and how she was just kind of quick with everything. If she really took the time to know him, she wouldn't have married him because he didn't fit what she needed in her own life. But she didn't take the time to figure it out, and that's why they didn't work. Now we don't even know what happened to him. I know that's a TV show that happens in real life. Mm. That's a fact. And that's what people don't want to talk about. People don't want to talk about the...
That's my front door. Continue.
Okay. People don't want to talk about the nitty gritty. They don't want to talk about the real stuff. They want to talk about the softer stuff. Finance is not soft, but it's like, let's talk about what's the real issue. The real issue is, I don't know who you are.
Okay.
You know, you got to know who somebody is. You know, before you lay down with them, you have kids. Before you really start a life with that person, you really got to know who that person is. And if you're not willing to take the steps to do that, i.e. instant gratification, if you're not willing to go above and beyond when it comes to like really taking the time to do that, you don't need to be with that person. So it don't matter if you're with a person for 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, it don't matter. You can be with a person for 2 months. If you really, really, really like that person and you really can see yourself with that person, you're going to do everything in your power to really know who the hell they are.
So when you see people do these gunshot weddings and do rush marriages, you don't feel like they know the person?
No.
Okay.
Just because, all right, let me not contradict myself real quick, right? Because you're trying to get me in a trap. I know what you're trying to do. I just said you could be with somebody for a month, 2 months, and know that you want to be with that person, but you have to be committed to finding out everything about that person. That doesn't mean...
But you're not going to know everything about that person.
But if you really rock with a person and y'all really think y'all soulmates and y'all really, really want to be with each other, you're going to know at least 96% of somebody's situation. They're going to hide some things from you because everybody got some stuff that they're going to say to the grave. Like, I got some stuff, I'm not telling nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's just, it is what it is. Everybody got that. Everybody. If you say you don't have that, you lying. Everybody got that stuff. But you should know at least 96% of the stuff that your partner, 96% of their life, 95%, whatever you want to say, you should know a lot about them. If you don't, you didn't try hard enough. So back to what you was trying to trip me up with.
I didn't trip you up.
You tried to trip me up.
I did it.
Okay.
Okay, continue.
That's how you know you're making points. Somebody try to throw it. It's like, all right, now I can't even really get back to what I was saying.
You were talking about... Damn, what were we talking about?
Exactly. Y'all see the BS?
No! You're talking about how well you can know a person before marrying them.
Yeah, all right. So, just because you might know somebody, you might think you know everything about a person, doesn't mean that you're ready to get married, because there's levels to it. Okay, if you say, we've taken 3 or 4 years to get to know everything about each other, we really know each other, I know this is the person for me. Okay, I'm going to propose to you. I propose to you. Now we've entered the engagement phase. The engagement phase will let you know if you really, really, really want to be with that person, because once you engage with somebody, now you know it's legit. Like, that's my fiance. I'm loyal to my fiance.
That is all for today, guys. Thank you, Will, for coming up.
No problem, Kevin.
I appreciate it. Did you just call me Kevin? Bye. I'm not Kevin. If anything, you have more Kevin views than I do. It's certain aspect.
No, I don't.
Outside of this interview, yes. Or this, yeah.
Just because I agree with the man don't mean
You share some of his views, but it's okay.
Most men share his views. Like,
okay, then.
He's the godfather for the reason. Like, come on.
Okay. But anyways, thank you for pulling up. Greatly appreciate you. Make sure, where can they follow you? On Twitter, Instagram?
Don't follow me on Twitter. I got enough people. I don't even want to go on Twitter no more. Follow me on Instagram _Will Nicholson.
No good?
Nah.
Why? Tell them about what you got coming out soon. I feel like it's...
I don't feel like it.
Well, they can go... Okay, they can go listen to your other music, though, that you already have out.
They could. Go ahead. Go promote it for me.
Okay, so he's
an art fan. Go ahead.
So what is it called? I can't remember. It's been a minute. You literally dropped it.
No, I got 3 songs, 3 singles on all streaming platforms. My 3-piece part 1. I was thinking about using the album that I pushed back to create part 2. I might as well, right?
As long as you drop my song in there, we fine.
Sure.
In a different world. As long as my song
I just told
out.
you why.
Right. I already told you, but
anyway, all streaming platforms, No Good. Go check it out. That's No Good. KNOWGOODE. Go check it out.
Yeah, okay.
Anything you want to shout out? Sure.
I want to shout out you for definitely coming up. Shout out your dad because he's the OG.
All right.
But yeah. For those that don't follow us, we're Joyful Wellness _ Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, we're Joyful Wellness Project LLC, and our website should be out very soon, probably mid-June. It'll be jwpcoach.com. But yeah, till then, thank you for tuning in to Share It All Podcast, and we will see y'all in another episode very soon.
Stay blessed.
Thanks. See y'all later.
All right, Kev.
I'm not Kevin!